All right, welcome back. Day in the life of the Grimwards. We got a couple things going on today. We're going to do some more work on the Brave Pro splitter. I got to add the hydraulic fluid. I got to put engine oil in it. We're going to put some gas in it. There's a little procedure to get the hydraulic fluid up to the pump and do all that. I went to Harbor Freight and bought a tongue jack, a better one. I'm not really excited about the one that's on it. Like I said, we had rented this unit from a local company, and every time you use it, it just doesn't seem like it's very sturdy, and I just don't want this thing to fall on the ground when I'm using it. So we decided, Leslie and I decided that we were going to spend a little money and make this a little more genuine. So we kind of did the thing, and we went and had some shirts made. So this is what it looks like. So we're not really selling any merchandise. These are just for her and I to have something while we're out here working. So we have our own. I'm usually representing some kind of fire department shirt or something else. But so now this is when we're out here and working in the yard, we'll have our own shirts. All right, so got the splitter out. So one quick thing, maybe if I do a product review, I'll send this to the people I got it from, Log Splitters Direct, which they get this from somewhere else, I don't know. So the only thing you got to think about when you buy one of these and you assemble it at home is this reservoir for the hydraulics takes, without the filter, I think is 7 gallons, and then with probably a filter change, I'm guessing, is 9. So you're going to need 10 gallons of hydraulic fluid. They list 3 different kinds, and I was lucky enough that my local AutoZone that I deal with, they had the right oil. I even Googled it on Tractor Supply, and I wasn't getting anything good either. So that's something to think about when you get this. You're not going to be able to use it that day unless you go online, read the directions, or read the whatever they want you to have. So anyway, food for thought. You're going to need to get some hydraulic fluid, and then you're going to need at least probably a quart. This doesn't really give you how much it takes in this Honda engine. Is all they recommend for the Honda engine. So what we're going to do now is I got some safety stickers I'm supposed to put on the engine, and then we're going to go to just dumping a bunch of hydraulic fluid in here, and there's also a procedure, and we'll kind of go through that when we get there. I'll read it right from the book. It tells you to take the spark plug off, pull the starter, do a couple things, work the lever. So I'll have Leslie kind of help me do that, and that's just to prime the system, and then you fire it up and run it, and that's supposed to get the air out, or it's supposed to whatever, and then we'll go from there. So that's getting ready to happen now. Muffler. There's already one there. And then this one's supposed to go there, which it's already there. That's all it is. It's just saying hot muffler.
It's probably because it's giving you more visual instead of having to read it. So you could just put it beside it instead of...
Perfect. And this is another.
Yeah, I think it's just more of like warning signals instead of having to read it.
So if you're wondering, which I try and buy things made in the USA, but it says here this Honda engine is made in Thailand. But anyway, as far as I know, Honda's supposed to be the best engines on these anyway, so take that with a grain of salt. I guess it's like anything else. Everybody has their own preference of what they want. All right, so this one's just gonna be something. It'd be nice if that wasn't in your way right off the bat. Pretty much going to take this whole first one. So we'll So if you're new to pouring 5-gallon buckets, if you pour them like this, it doesn't do that chug-a-lug on you and spill all over the place. And then as you get down in the level, you just roll it around. And this works for everything. So if you're doing something and you got to do something on your tailgate or something crazy with a 5-gallon bucket into something smaller, just put it down on its side and open it. You can tip it, and then as it gets going, you just roll it. It's one of those things you learn the hard way. You haven't been around a lot of 5-gallon buckets.
I just learned something because I was going to ask you that.
Why I did it?
Yeah, why you were doing it, starting off like that.
Well, because if you do it the other way, it'll just kind of chug because it's trying to get the air to go in there at the same time. So here we are again, southeastern North Carolina. I think today's supposed to be like 72 degrees. So, crazy. Not sure how that's going to work out. We'll probably get snow next week. But the temperature actually, they say it's going to be pretty mild. Which is good because now I probably would have gone crazy if I had to wait a couple weeks before I could use the splitter. But we'll probably wait maybe this Sunday when I'm off. We'll get it out. See how it goes. I don't consider myself a master mechanic, but I'm sure one of these hoses is probably going to leak a little. I hope not, but we'll see.
Positive thinking.
That's 5 gallons. So I said I would contact in my, with the splitter. This thing came in a big crate, which if you watched the previous videos, you saw that. So my thing is charge another $100 and send two of these in the crate. because you can order this online. So I don't think it's a hazmat deal as far as in the mail. So it would make the new owners a lot happier to not have to run out and try and find a specific hydraulic fluid. But I do understand just continually adding cost, but you know, obviously it would have been nice to just have this. I mean, I guess you'd have to go out and get some oil anyway, but either way. Then just throw in a quart of 10W30. I mean, that way if somebody is not near an auto parts store or lives out in the middle of the woods and this is gonna, you know, they go out to a cabin, go out somewhere, it'd be nice to have everything you need to get started. Probably just gonna do like half of this thing.
Because it's 9 gallons, right?
Well,
That
it
takes 9 gallons.
says 7 gallons, but then with a filter, it's a brand new filter, so, you know, is that a quart, a couple quarts, so I'm just gonna do, we'll just kind of sneak up on it rather than go for the gold. So if you want to just,
You want to take it out?
yeah, because it says, let me just put that on the bottom.
Oh, I can see it right there.
Yeah, so it says not to screw it in. So where are we going? We might be full now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you couldn't see the words.
Okay. So now we are going to we're gonna put this on. Like I said, just, you know, all this is in the instructions. This isn't, I'm not winging this. So just follow the instructions. Like it tells you to just fill that up and then not to screw it in when you check it. So I mean, that's because a lot of people usually, some do, you screw it in, some don't. And again, it's just one of those. I wish this had a tell me something.
Which that's 10W30.
Yeah. That might be the same thing here. Do like, I know I mean, it had something in it because there was something on the dipstick. So I'm assuming, like everything else, it probably gets run. It probably gets run in the factory, and then it's drained and shipped. But and this didn't tell me whether I screw it in or not, so I'm probably just going to screw it in and see where we're at. Alright, we're at the very bottom, so we're getting there. Yeah, it's probably going to be a quart. Right at a quart. Same thing, we're just going to kind of sneak up on it. Let's see what. We're a quarter of the way. So that's the other thing I did find out, or didn't find out. This doesn't really, in the book, in the manual, it doesn't give you any kind of break-in procedures. So we just kind of Googled online, Honda, anything that Honda might recommend. So we're just gonna, says to run it for about 5 minutes with under no load. And and then you're supposed to let it cool down, whatever, and then check the fluids. But so we'll do the same thing. I think the hardest part about oh yeah, we're full. That was it. Took 1 quart. And it's right to the top of the. So oil's good. So now. Alright, so now, with the help of my lovely assistant, okay, disconnect spark plug wire. This also has an on-off switch, so I'm guessing these are pretty generic instructions for all these Honda motors. So, okay. Make sure the spark plug wire is held. Spark plug wire is held away. It's very much away. One hand forward. Alright, so will you do me a favor? So we're on number 6 here. So you hold the valve that way. And then I just gotta pull this like 20 times.
Hold this that way?
Yeah, pull it like you're splitting. Too. You should probably start seeing
it. It looks like it's full, but I can't now that I didn't know to look. Yeah, there you can see it bubbling.
Yeah.
The bubble's going up.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, and it's moving. So.
Yeah, I just.
Whoa.
Now, move that. Track of where it was. We're gonna say that's good.
So let go?
Alright, yeah, so let go. And then what does it say?
For the next one?
Yeah, I need to go get my.
Push the valve control handle with one hand to the. Oh, we already did that. Reconnect the spark plug wire to the spark plug.
Alright. You want to do that? You can. Just make sure to see that I'm there good.
Yeah. He can check that when he gets back. I don't want to be responsible. Double check behind me. I pushed it as far as it would go.
Yeah. Usually you'll hear a little or feel a little.
It kind of clicked a little.
Yeah, like a little, like that thing, like a click, click.
Start and use the control valve handle to extend and extract wedge 5 times to remove air from the high pressure lines.
Alright, again?
It's still filming.
Oh. Alright, so this is, I'm putting non-ethanol fuel in here. I'm going to try and run this on non-ethanol all the time. I keep a can of this for my lawnmower, and then just a backup around the house, but Alright, so that's probably plenty to get us going here. So, alright, so we moved it in here. So now maybe what we'll do is we'll move it outside.
I was gonna say the lighting is
We're in a
better out there.
ventilated area, but I'd rather we can get it outside now and be a big deal.
3.
All right, we're gonna turn it on. Fuel on, choke on. Let's give it about half throttle, and let's go for the goal. Cycle the handle a few times, but realistically right now all I'm doing is looking for leaks when we put it together. Everything looks good, so I'm going to let the engine just stay where it's at, and we're supposed to cycle the wedge, and we'll go back from there. One thing that I really like too, an option of this, it has that automatic. So once you split a piece of wood, you just push it back and it clicks it back and it'll shut off. And now you can be loading another piece just to increase that cycle time. Under no power, but I mean that little bit wasn't doing any real power, so we're gonna throttle it up a little bit, let it run for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll shut it off, and then the only thing we gotta do is put the new wheel on the front, get rid of that. So we just got done running the motor. I'm gonna let it cool down. We'll come back this afternoon in a little while and I'll check the hydraulic fluid again. It tells you to check the oil. So last thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna put this jack on here. Like I said, this thing is what comes from the factory, and it tends to just let this thing wobble, which is not, I don't like it. So, and when I get to here, I'm going to be able to roll this thing around and roll it around in the building wherever I want. It's not going to do a whole lot of good when I'm out in the dirt, but It's more for when I get it to here, I can roll it in around the garage and maneuver where I want. But anyway, that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to take this off and change it out real quick. Now what you do is
Oh, that's on video.
edit that out. All right.
Do we need to put something over here, maybe?
No, we probably need to. I have a jack stand. Anything.
Oh, go run it.
No, hold on.
I was gonna say if you get one of those logs, I mean,
Just put it on there. Well, we have an excellent editing department.
Woo! Alrighty then.
Alright, so these just go like this. So see, this one's going to go to the top.
But it goes to the top or like this?
Yeah, it goes like that.
Okay.
Now you slide a lock washer on there.
Making sure that just the single hole goes up top.
Yeah.
So does this go too?
Yeah, lock washer and then a nut. Same on that side. Okay, that's good. Give me 2 more bolts. And then what you do is you just, so this is the second bolt, second hole.
Here it is.
Just snug those up now with your hand, just as, you know what I mean, kind of as tight as you can get.
That bolt is like it doesn't want to go.
Yeah, it might
I mean, not the bolt, the nut.
Yeah, I might have got a little damaged and that happens. Alright, so now, let's move this over to there. So, and then what we want to look for is like that. I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Right. And now
I
just
can't really move it too far. I mean, I could go back a little bit. This is what I'm concerned about, though,
is
with the bumper.
being when you move it.
Like towing it.
Well, you also
So
want to make
it-
sure you've got enough.
Right, which it could go back. It can go back a little bit. So that's, can you move that block back towards the motor? right on the other side of that where it locks in. Flat one there?
No, it's not flat. It's on an angle. Because this is angled.
Right, okay, well, hold on. Alright, so now let's loosen this up a little bit. See, that's why I wanted the single wheel.
Because it'd be easier to.
Slide up there and I can move it back. But kinda, so now if I put it there, yeah, that's a lot better.
Which, drop it and just make sure it's like you're happy where.
Yeah, this doesn't really matter now, you know what I mean? This is all.
That's just to hold it up.
Right, the only thing you just have to roll these over. I think that's it. Alright. Like that.
You want bottom first?
Yeah.
Hold on, it's stuck in there. Whoa. Oh, I thought you were down below. That tight. Actually, more because if you look at right there, the way it's angled, something right there.
Yeah, it's got to move.
Yeah.
No, I mean I think that's pretty much all.
Okay.
Well, these on the inside aren't super tight, and I think that's just because it's kind of the way it is. That's just that's good quality Harbor Freight. That's all. Alright, so now we can get it on level ground. Let's see if this is even. I'll have to get a different socket. What do you do with it? All right. All right. We've got it finished up. We got the jack on. We ran it, no leaks. That's because of Leslie. She did all the final inspection. So yeah, so now we just got to let everything cool down, let the motor cool down. We'll check the oil one more time. We'll top off the hydraulic fluid. And it's ready to go. So yeah, so next video will probably be us doing some work in the backyard, splitting wood, which is really nice because now I'm looking forward to, you know, we've been renting this splitter for weekends or a day at a time, and we come out here and we work all weekend splitting wood. So now it'll be nice to just pull this out, do a couple hours, put it away. We can always just come back out again. But anyway, this will wrap this video up now. This, like I said, this is like I mentioned in one of the other videos, I don't know if you can always rent something before you buy it, but maybe that might be an idea. You know, I mentioned that we had been renting this one for a little while, but you know, if you're looking to purchase something, go rent it, go figure it out, play with it, and then you can say, no, I like that one, I don't like that one, you know, whatever. But anyway, yeah, so if you like these videos, like, subscribe, share them with your friends, and like I said, next video you see will be out splitting wood.
Tell us what you think of our shirts too.
Yeah, there's always something to do.
So kudos to Mike, because I just asked him, have you ever seen a splitter with one of these wheels on it? And he said no. So kudos to Mike for coming up with this idea so that we can easily maneuver this around in the building. We just brought it in and he was turning it. It was a piece of cake. So I should be able to move it as well with no problem. But again, I'm giving kudos to Mike because he came up with taking off that other piece that was kind of flimsy, and now we have a wheel and can maneuver this around.